On March 17th, AD 461, Christian missionary St. Patrick dies in Sall, Ireland, the location of his first church. Much of what we know today about St. Patrick comes from his autobiographical work, Confessio. Patrick was born on the island of Britain at the end of the Roman period. He came from a wealthy Christian family with Roman citizenship. At age 16, Patrick was abducted from his family's villa by Irish pirates and was enslaved in Ireland, laboring primarily as a herdsman or shepherd. His Christian faith brought him comfort in this difficult circumstance. After 6 years in servitude, he had a dream where a voice told him to escape, which he did, and then made his way back to Britain and his family. In another dream, Patrick heard Irish voices pleading with him to return to their land. He heeded this vision and traveled back to Ireland as a Christian missionary. He spent the next 40 years converting thousands to the faith and building churches across the island. According to legend, St. Patrick used the shamrock to teach the Christian concept of the Trinity to the Irish people. This three-leaf clover has become a symbol of Ireland and St. Patrick's Day. Another legend has to do with snakes. Believers claim that St. Patrick drove these reptiles out of Ireland. In fact, you will often see him trampling serpents in art. Patrick is believed to have lived into his 70s. He died in Sall, County Down, the site of his first church. Following his death, the legend of St. Patrick grew. Accounts from the 7th century onward describe his many miracles. Though venerated as St. Patrick, he has never been officially canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church, in part because the formal canonization process did not begin until the 10th century. Claims that St. Patrick was the first to bring Christianity to Ireland are likely an exaggeration, but St. Patrick certainly was a highly successful missionary who was instrumental in the church's growth on the island. Ireland is one of 2 lands that today celebrate St. Patrick's Day as a national holiday. The other is the tiny island of Montserrat, a British overseas territory in the Caribbean. This veneration of St. Patrick's Day comes because of Montserrat's unique heritage. Many of the Europeans who settled on the island in 1632 were Irish Catholics who came as indentured servants. Enslaved Africans were also brought to the island. The customs and traditions of the 2 groups blended. The island has villages with names like Cork Hill and St. Patrick's, and many islanders have Irish surnames. Montserrat is fondly called the Emerald Isle of the Caribbean. St. Patrick's Day became a national holiday in Montserrat in 1985, but not to celebrate St. Patrick. Instead, it honors the island's 1768 attempted St. Patrick's Day slave revolt. Enslaved Africans planned the event on the holiday because they hoped their enslavers would be drunk and distracted, giving them a better chance to succeed. Although the planned rebellion was thwarted, it starts a movement in the region that results in the abolition of slavery in 1833. So, in Montserrat, St. Patrick's Day celebrates both the island's Irish culture and its people's fight for freedom. It seems especially fitting since St. Patrick himself escaped from slavery. There are many large St. Patrick's Day parades held all over the world today, including in Munich, Germany, in Singapore, in Sydney, Australia, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and of course on the island of Montserrat and in Dublin, Ireland. These celebrations are often as much about Irish heritage and culture as they are about St. Patrick. The first documented St. Patrick's Day parade, however, did not take place in Ireland, but in what is now the United States. In 1601, an Irish vicar named Ricardo Artur organized the event in St. Augustine, in the then Spanish colony of Florida. The first St. Patrick's Day parade in Boston occurred in 1737, organized by homesick Irishmen in the British Army. Chicago's first parade was in 1843. The city first dyed its river green in 1962, a tradition which carries on to this day. But the largest St. Patrick's Day parade in the world today is found in New York City. It held its first parade in 1762, 14 years before America declared independence. Today, 150,000 participants march 35 blocks up Manhattan's Fifth Avenue in front of 2 million spectators. Naturally, the parade passes by the city's famed St. Patrick's Cathedral. Here are other events that happened today in history. In 1776, British forces are forced to evacuate Boston after Washington's successful siege of the city. In 1804, Jim Bridger, the first white man to see Yellowstone and the Great Salt Lake, is born in Richmond, Virginia. In 1905, future President Franklin Roosevelt marries his fifth cousin, Eleanor, in New York City. In 1958, American singer Johnny Mathis releases the first ever greatest hits album, starting a trend. In 1969, 70-year-old Golda Meir becomes Israel's first and only female prime minister. In 2020, the first human trial of a COVID-19 vaccine begins at a research facility in Seattle, Washington. In 2023, Taylor Swift kicks off her record-breaking Eras Tour at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. And now it's time for our Today in History quiz. How many fatalities have been caused by the Seattle monorail, which first opened in 1962 for the World's Fair? 0, 1, 3, or 5? Think you know the answer? Drop your guesses in the comments below. Find out if you're right next time on Today in History.